welcome back to our podcast, Let's Be Family. I am Denisse.
What's up, everybody? I'm Duke.
Hope you've been enjoying our latest episodes. We want to say thank you so much and a shout out to everybody who has sent us messages or has sent us love back and has let us know that they've been enjoying our episodes. We for sure have been enjoying sharing our just the time with you. I don't know how to say it specifically, but we've just been having a blast recording this and just putting it out there and welcoming you into our lives.
Into the fam. We got a bunch of comments on the what was the thing that you did?
The high speed chase. Yeah,
the high speed chase song on the radio. That was fun.
Yeah, that was
a fun thing.
Yeah, so some people someone said that they would their song would be "Shut Up and Drive" by Rihanna, which is interesting. Somebody said there's a song from Tupac. I don't know the name of the song. I can't think of it. Remember right now, but a friend of ours was saying that. Oh
yeah, it was "Ambitions as a Rider."
Yeah,
I'm not. Honestly,
I'm not very familiar with it, but yeah.
But I did pull it up and I read the lyrics, and I cannot sing it on this podcast.
No, of course not. But it was fun to hear everybody's feedback and just
I got some AC/DC songs, Thunder, Highway to Hell, which is that's a good one. And then somebody said, of course, I didn't even think about it at the time, but I should have, the Bad Boys. Bad Boys.
Oh,
yeah. Bad Boys theme song.
Yeah, that one.
What you gonna do when they come? Yeah, it's kind of like
a good one. A
pretty
good
iconic
song for
one.
that.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Yeah. Thank you, everybody who sent back their feedback. We definitely enjoyed it. And I have a question for you.
Oh, by the way, I forgot about this one because Frank Laporta said that he 100% agreed with me on "Don't Stop Believing."
Journey?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
so shout out to Frank Laporta.
It's very uplifting. Maybe that's what you need when you're being chased.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
Going 100 miles an hour, or I don't know, 140. I don't know. Can a car go that fast?
Depends what we're driving.
Depends what you're driving. There you go.
All right, go ahead. What was
if you're driving a, what is it called? Station wagon, you might not go that fast.
The speedometer only goes up to 85, and that's pushing it. So not getting away.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my question for you today, well, that is if I can find it. What is the most ridiculous fact do you know?
The most ridiculous fact that I know. Man, I feel like there's so many ridiculous facts that I know.
Like you're like, oh, did you guys know?
This is kind of gross.
Okay. Let's hope it's not that gross.
It's gross. It's really gross. They, I don't know. Maybe people know this. I don't know. But people used to brush their teeth with urine.
Gosh. No, you didn't.
People used to brush in Rome.
What?
In ancient Rome, they would brush or mouthwash, or I don't know if they brushed it or if it was just like a rinse and spit thing. But
they sanitize their mouth with urine.
Urine was used to whiten teeth, apparently.
To whiten teeth. Please don't try that today. That is crazy. That's kind of bizarre, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, because one that people bring up sometimes is I think they used to use ketchup for like wounds or something like that. Probably just because of the sugar. But I'm like, no, I can do you one better. They used to rinse their mouths with
wow.
pee-pee. Yeah.
With pee-pee? Is that what you call it?
With pee-pee. Keeping it PG.
Oh, keeping it PG-13.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's the first one I thought of.
Interesting. That is kind of ridiculous.
Oh, you know what else is cool?
What else
Abraham
is cool?
Lincoln was a bartender. I don't know if that's
There were bartenders back in that time?
Yeah, there were bartenders back then.
Sure. I just never thought about that.
I don't think he was tending bar while he was president.
I hope not.
But at some point prior to being president,
I hope
he was a bartender and a wrestler, I believe. He was a big dude. I think he was a wrestler too.
Wow,
which is kind of
interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah. All right.
What you got? You got a ridiculous fact?
There's this controversy about unicorns. So some people say, they're mythological creatures that are make-believe, yada, yada. There's, just cartoonish, beautiful unicorns. Mm-hmm. You can actually find the word unicorn mentioned in the Bible.
In the Bible?
Back in the day, yeah. I don't think it's in the newer versions, but there's a translation from like the 1900s where in the book of Job is talking about different types of animals, and the word unicorn is mentioned there.
Oh.
And when you actually research the etymology of the word unicorn, it does refer to an animal that we have nowadays, but we don't call it a unicorn.
So what is it?
So the real unicorn is actually a rhinoceros.
A rhino. That makes sense.
Yeah, because the Latin word unicorn actually means one horned. Yeah.
But are you trying to tell me that real unicorns are not real?
That's a real unicorn.
No, but I'm saying like the horse with the spike?
No.
Not real?
No.
Never? It was never real.
No.
Well, I hope there were no little girls listening to this podcast.
Oh, I broke their heart. I'm sorry.
What would you rather get in a fight with, a rhino or a hippo?
Which one I would prefer to fight?
Yeah, which one would you rather fight if you had to fight one?
Probably the rhinoceros. Hippos are deadly. They're like beastly.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
They are
I wouldn't even
very like... Let's not talk about the fact that they're super fast underwater. Mm-hmm. But they're like vicious. They're vicious animals, and they have very like... They even say that is worse than an alligator bite or a crocodile bite, which when I read that, I was like, no. But then when you see them fight, like hippos are...
Yeah, they're dirtbags, and they're strong, and they're vicious, and I think their skin is like 4 inches thick.
Oh, and, yeah, exactly.
It's like you can't do anything. There's nothing you could do.
Just lay down and die.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd fight almost anything over a hippo because they're insane.
Yeah.
But maybe if you get them on, I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I don't know, can they climb a tree? Like maybe if you climb a tree, you can get away from one.
No, but they're heavy and strong enough that they can like try to knock the tree down.
Are they really trying that hard to get
you? Yeah, I think
You're gonna bite through the tree?
Yeah.
Knock it through?
They might knock it down.
In that case, I feel like fighting I don't know. Would I fight? I mean, probably the last thing I would ever fight would be a grizzly bear, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
There's just no way. They're so fast.
So did you know about bears that female bears are larger than male bears? Did you know that? I don't know if that's like across the board, but I just kind of happened to read something about that. A lot of times people have more close encounters to female bears because, they have their cubs and stuff. And that's also the reason why they tend to be more aggressive, because they just kind of go into this protective mode.
Well, I was going to say, I feel like you never see a male bear in the wild. You almost always see the mom and the babies.
Yeah.
And you see the males in zoos, I feel like, more often. So those guys are getting caught out there.
Yeah, they're probably like, whatever, no, I just need a meal and a place to sleep. Put me in the cage. I don't care.
If you asked me, what do you think is bigger, male or female, I probably would have guessed female, but I didn't know that definitively.
And again, I don't know if this is just like on a specific breed of bears, because again, there's like different types of bears. There's black bears or brown bears. There's grizzly bears. They're polar bears.
There's lots of bears.
Some people don't think polar bears are bears, but polar bears.
Hey, bear.
Stop it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
God's creation is awesome.
There's an immortal jellyfish. There's a jellyfish that lives forever, apparently.
Immortal?
Immortal.
Oh, immortal. Wow. So what does it do? Like it regenerates after a certain time?
Yeah, I think so.
Like
I forget. I should have brought it up because I totally forget.
Doesn't I feel like I've heard this, or Elijah brought it up one time or something.
I'm assuming you can kill it. like if you stabbed it, it would die. But I think if you just leave it alone, it'll just live for it. Like it won't die of old age. Because I think it gets to a certain point and then becomes a baby again, or becomes young again, or something like that. It's something crazy.
Wow, that is crazy. So we're talking about animals today. I don't know why, but I have seen some of these videos, and I found it very interesting when they're talking about the eagles, how eagles go through like a process of they reach a certain age, they they kind of go into kind of like a hiatus, and the eagle will break their beak, because I guess their beak has reached a certain level where like it's not gonna be sharp anymore, or it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So they themselves will break their beak, so that it will like grow back, which I can understand. That's
crazy,
because it's bone. So I guess it's a part in their body that it regenerates.
Yeah.
So they will break their beak in order for them to get a new beak that is more solid and sharp. And then after that, they will use their beak to pluck out all of their what do you call them? Their feathers. They will pluck out their own feathers to get new coating, new feathers, because their feathers have worn out, like they have reached like their max, I guess, level or whatever. So literally this animal takes themselves out, and it goes into kind of like a hiding place to go into this like type of breaking.
That's so crazy. Just like animal instincts like that they know that they have to do that. Because I imagine it's painful.
Yeah,
it's not fun to break your beak.
Yeah,
and pluck out all your feathers.
But it's like somewhere in their make, they have this understanding that there's a season that they need to go into in order for them to continue to live.
Yeah.
Because if they don't do that, and their claws are no longer sharp, and their beak is not doing what it's supposed to, they will have a hard time surviving.
Yeah.
So I just, I find that that's so interesting, because I think there are times where we go through certain processes in our lives where we need to do some deconstruction, or evaluate, and then make adjustments, and center ourselves again, or whatever it is that we're going through. And it is a messy process, and I think sometimes we can be afraid of going through a messy process because we are concerned with the work that might come with it. We become concerned with the pain. Would I be able to deal with the pain? And I know it's not easy to deal with the issues of our heart at times. If God has cared enough to equip an animal with the ability to go through that process and have this knowing that it's necessary, like he has also put something in us and instilled in us the ability to be in those moments where we might feel so broken and so vulnerable, that we can deal with the pain. We can overcome it, and we can come out of that with something that makes us stronger, something that he strengthens in us, not just our character, but our understanding of who he is. And I recognize that there are times where we can go through pain, and it's hard to see God in the midst of the pain, because the pain can be so unbearable. But yet he is there. His goodness is there, and he doesn't leave us in the middle of the pain.
Yeah.
So again, when I was reading that about the eagle and stuff, my heart was like full of gratefulness. I was like, you know what, God, I'm grateful that in those moments where we can feel that we are at our lowest, or in those moments where we can feel like, I don't want anyone to see me in the state of vulnerability, that God is not scandalized by that undoing. You know, sometimes we can think that God is distant or indifferent, and to contrary believe, he's not. He is close there. He's close, you know, the scripture says he's close to the brokenhearted. And dealing with brokenheartedness it comes in different shapes and in different ways. So we can try to run away from dealing with the pain or dealing with the messiness of, you know, whether it's going through a divorce, whether it is through heartbreak, whether it is to being disappointed and or being laid off of work, or grieving because you lost somebody that you love. Like there's just so many things that can come into our lives and produce what we can say, this is ugly, this is difficult, it's uncomfortable. But I just love that we serve a God who is always wanting to walk with us even in those seasons. He's not just with us in the good times, but he wants to be with us and do the hard work. It doesn't matter how much it hurts, I'm not letting go. Like I remember me personally in my own life, I've experienced that. Are times where, you know, I was ashamed of my pain, or I was ashamed of those things in my heart, you know, to the point of saying like, oh God, I don't want you to see me like this. I don't even want to say what is actually in my mind because I feel grossed by saying it, or I feel like it's ugly and it's not pretty and it's not good. And how God will, with wide open arms, will just say, it's okay. I can handle that. Just come to me with it. I'm here. I'm not scandalized by it. I'm not scared by it. I'm right here. Let's do this together. So I just I didn't mean to bring the conversation to a very, very serious point, but I just thought that was so if you're listening to this, be encouraged by that. I hope that brings some encouragement and some maybe a new perspective. Maybe you never thought about that, or you have been feeling distant from God in regards to different things that are happening in your life. And I just hope that brings you closer.
I always think about Tiger Woods. How I think it was in like the early 2000s. He's like the best golfer in the world, but he went through this change where, and I think, I don't remember when his back injury started. He might have already been dealing with some injuries back then, but he did this thing where he completely altered his golf swing, and he sucked for like a year, for a while. Like in front of the whole world. And people, I mean, I'm sure some people, you know, people that really follow him knew, like they could tell the difference, like he's changing some things up or whatever, but most people were just looking at him like, what happened to Tiger? Like what happened? And he's going through this process so publicly of changing something over, and it must have been terrible. Like it must have been so hard to do. Just to know that you're playing at such a high level and you're so good, but you have to just publicly look like you're falling apart.
Like you don't know what you're doing.
But then came back like stronger than ever, and you know, with a swing better than ever before, because he went through this process. And I don't remember all the details, like why he felt like it was necessary to go through that and everything, but it just, I always think about, like with what you're talking about, I always think about that kind of thing where it's like, sometimes it's, I can keep doing what I'm doing and I can keep staying where I'm staying, and maybe it's working, maybe it's keeping me in a certain place of comfortability, but there's another level. And actually another thing about eagles that I like is I heard this years ago, so hopefully it's true. Somebody fact check me on this, but I heard that what they do, like what the mother eagle or whatever, like when they've got babies, that they'll, once the babies start getting to a point where they need to learn how to fly, the mother and maybe the father too, I don't know, but they'll start putting like really uncomfortable stuff in the nest. They'll make the nest really uncomfortable. So they'll get like jagged rocks, and they'll get like little twigs and just different things that are making it like an uncomfortable environment for them to just be in all the time. And the idea is they're pushing them to get out on their own. They're pushing them to like jump out of the nest and like start learning how to fly. Because the idea is if it's too comfortable where you live, if it's too comfortable in that place where you are, you're going to stay there. And you're not going to learn what's necessary to jump into the next season. And it's never fun. Like there's something about it that's never fun. It's never comfortable to learn something new. Like it can feel like you can be excited about, oh, I'm going to start taking guitar lessons, or I'm going to start learning how to swim, or and like you can be excited about the process of like, you know, baby eagle, like I'm going to learn how to fly. It's going to be great. But then when you keep smacking your head on the ground and you keep, you know, you're trying to play a chord and your fingers are bleeding or whatever it is, it's not fun to go through that process of what it takes to get to the next stage of growth where it's actually enjoyable and you're in that next season of advancement. And so that's something I love about eagles, because it's such a good, you know, analogy for life. And sometimes we have to lean into the discomfort in order to grow and in order to excel and get to the next stage, definitely. You know?
Yeah. No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain.
Don't they say that? Yeah.
They say that.
Yeah.
Hey, Denisse, what am I wearing on my feet right now?
Socks?
Yes. If you spell the word socks really fast, it sounds like you're speaking Spanish. So give it a shot. Spell the word socks quickly.
C-K-S.
S. Yeah. So just do that quick. Do that fast.
No, I can't do it.
Yes, you can.
I speak Spanish, so no.
No, do it quicker. S-O-C-K-S. Did you hear that?
Bruh. Really?
S-O-C-K-S.
No.
Shut me down on that one, huh? Man.
Yep. If there was a song that played every time you enter a room, which song would that be?
If there was a song that played every time I entered the room, what would it be?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Think about a tune that adds comic effect to your grand entrance.
Comic effect? It has to be funny?
Yeah, I mean, something funny. I don't know. It doesn't all have to be so serious.
Man, this is a good question. I don't want to blow it.
There's no right or wrong answer.
No, there is. For me, there is. Because I'm going to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, I should have said that.
No.
It's going to haunt me. I don't want to mess this up. All right. So let's think through this. It's got to be.
It's gotta be me. No, I'm just kidding.
I wanted that.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, no, not that.
Now that song is in your head, isn't it?
Is it? Because it's not as simple as what's your favorite song.
No, it's like what song?
It's kind of like your theme song, right?
Like it could be. Yeah, it could be, but it could be something that like announces like that you're here. I don't know. I don't know why, but this is the song that comes to my mind when I think about this question. It'll be for a moment like this. So, I don't know why. Who sings the song? Is that Norah Jones?
No.
Or who is it? Who is
that? Kelly? Kelly Clarkson?
No, is it? Maybe it is. I can't think.
Some people wait a lifetime for a moment.
Yeah,
like this.
yeah,
that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Kelly Clarkson. I'm pretty sure.
So I don't know why that song came to my mind when I was thinking about that question. That one or Girl on Fire.
Yeah,
Girl on Fire.
that's a good one.
Yep. So I walk in the room and that's what it will be playing.
That's a good one. Man, and I can't say Don't Stop Believing again because I said that last time, so I can't go with that one.
No, pick a different
That's a good one, though.
Don't Stop Believing. Don't Stop Believing will be a good one for anything.
Yeah,
at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a good song.
How about We Are the Champions?
It would be funny to pick another Queen song. Find me somebody to love.
Oh yeah.
Every time you walk in a room, find me somebody to.
Yeah, there you go. That would be funny.
No, that's not my song though. But it'd be funny. I'd be down with a Queen song, but it wouldn't be "We Are the Champions."
No Beethoven. No, nothing.
What?
Like that.
What was that?
Beethoven.
Oh, Beethoven.
Like symphony.
Yeah. There's. I guess you could do that too, right? There doesn't have to be words to the song.
It could just be a tune, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe just like the Batman theme song.
Which one?
Yes.
The old school Batman?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's the only Batman theme song.
Like, wee! Like, imagine like if you walked in the room and there were sound effects when you were walking in.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
How about Everything is Awesome?
From the Lego movie?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be funny. What's the other song that movie has? This song's gonna get stuck in your
everybody
head.
Would hate you though.
Yeah, everybody would hate it if that
That's
was
rough.
a song. Yeah. Ooh.
That would be funny if like every time you walked in a room that happened, your song, but it happened for everybody, so like you'd always know who's coming in the room. Like, oh, great. Ugh. John's here again.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That's funny.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know. One of those. Everything is awesome.
How about like a Michael Jackson song?
You've been hit by Smooth Criminal. Smooth Criminal's pretty cool.
Smooth Criminal's pretty cool, I guess.
Play that funky music, white boy. That might be my song.
That would be a theme song? Since we're talking about theme songs or whatever, if you were to wear a t-shirt for the rest of your life, what word would that t-shirt have?
WWJD.
For reals?
Okay, wait. So I'm not sure how to think about this. I've got to wear it's the same t-shirt.
Well, you would wear it. Yeah, it's like this t-shirt will have one word and you will wear it for the rest of your life.
But am I
You can wash this t-shirt, okay? It's not going to be dirty.
But it's going to wear out. Is it just like I have to pick a t-shirt and that's the shirt I have forever, but I get new ones? Like I get to replace it?
You're focusing too much on the t-shirt. The focus is the word. What word would your t-shirt have? So it's just
one word, not a phrase? It has to just be one word?
Yes.
Ugh. So I can't do two words?
No, it has to be one word.
Darn it. I was going to say Nenny Pocket.
Stop
I was going to take your high school nickname.
Stop it.
Albuquerque. I don't know. Man, you come up with these questions. They're so good. And it's like, I don't want to get stuck with the wrong thing for the rest of my life.
Why would you get stuck with the wrong thing?
So what if, is it like, does everyone have to have a different one? I guess there'd be overlap on that too, because there's only so many words.
Yeah.
There's like 144,000 words.
Don't worry about what other people are doing, Duke. Think about you.
Well,
yourself.
But I'm saying, like, is it a way that I'm trying to identify?
No, you can put the word poop there if that's what your word want to be. Why do we always talk about poop at some point?
Facsimile.
No. Well, I guess if that's your word, like I think I would like to use the word courage because I like that,
see, you're thinking about this on the right lines.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'll put Jesus on mine shirt. Love you, Jesus.
Yeah, you can put the word love. Sure.
I'll put the word.
It just has to be one word.
Yeah. Courage is good. What if I just put the word fashion, like ironically?
Sure.
Because it's like,
the word that you want.
Like I would by default, like if everyone has to do the same thing, like I would by default be the fashionable one.
So if I was to pick like one word that I think it would be like, okay, I see you, I would put the word icon.
Icon?
Yeah.
I like it. Iconoclast. No.
What? Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good word. I said one of my favorite words is fuselage. I just like that word.
Oh, so that's the word you...
Maybe. If I got to see it every day for the rest of my life.
Really?
Maybe I'll pick just a word that I like.
Okay. Pivot.
Pivot. Pivot.
Pivot.
Maybe bear. Like just the word bear. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay. Just random words, random meanings.
Onomatopoeia. It's like just I pick. It's like the longest word. It's the longest word in the world. The word maybe
supercalifragilisticexpialidoso.
Is that a real word?
Yes.
I know it's in that movie, but is it a real word?
I
guess it doesn't matter, right? You can put what you want. Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking strength might be cool. Mm-hmm. Something that's gonna, like you said, courage. Something that's gonna remind you of something positive.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something that's defining me, I would brave.
Brave, yeah, I like it. Yeah, so something like that. So, okay, final answer. Do I need a final answer?
Sure. Give me your final answer.
Pancakes. That's my final answer. Pancakes. I'm stuck with it forever.
Yep, I can see that.
Pancakes. Oh, I should have said bacon.
Oh. Well, you can still change it, okay?
I can't. I committed to it. I'm committed.
Bacon.
Pancakes.
Donuts.
When I went skydiving, the guy that I was strapped to, because I had to go tandem, obviously, his name was Pancake. I'm sure that wasn't on his birth certificate, but that's what he introduced himself as. Okay. So the idea is like if you hit the ground, you're gonna get flattened like a pancake. I'm assuming that's where that came from, but his name was Pancake.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if you could change your name, would you change your name, and what would you change it to?
Not Pancake. If I could change my name, I mean, I just wouldn't. The answer is I wouldn't at this point in my life.
Yeah.
But because I wouldn't want.
You wouldn't want to start over again.
I wouldn't want to start over again. Well, what I would do is I would just change it to Duke. You know what I mean? So that it's legally Duke, and I don't have to deal with this nonsense of having two names attached to me.
I actually like my name, even though people don't say it right. I've been called Denisse a few times.
Oh, well, that's just
I've been
stupid.
Called Densa.
Densa?
Yeah.
How about Densa?
Yeah. Somebody spelled my name.
That's
Dense.
not even a name.
Dense.
Dense?
Yeah.
Dense?
Dense. Like
dumb?
D-E-N-S-E. Dense.
We used to call people that, like, you're so dense. We used to say that back in the day.
Yeah, so I don't know. I wouldn't change my name. I like it.
I like it too. I don't want you to change your name. Yeah. So we were talking about I was reading about okay, start over. I was reading about this thing that American Airlines did years ago. I think it was in the 80s. So they were in crisis. They were like bleeding money, and they really needed money. They needed capital. And what they did, they needed an influx of cash. So they introduced this program that was you bought a membership. It was a lifetime. Like, you could fly anywhere. You could fly as many times as you wanted. You can fly all the time. You get free tickets for the rest of your life. It was $250,000 to like be in this club. So for $250,000, you got a lifetime membership to fly American Airlines, and you could fly as often as you want. And they did not put restrictions on it as far as I know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a different world back then, right?
Yeah.
And so they even made it, you could, your first, for you, it was 250 grand. And then you could get a companion ticket for an extra $150,000. So for $400,000, you and me could fly anywhere we wanted for forever. So the idea behind this was like they were going to get, you know, like several people to do this, $250,000 every time somebody bought one of these passes. So I guess what they did was they called people up that were like their most frequent flyers or whatever, and they offered it to people. And they sold 28 of them before they shut the program down.
Why did they shut the program down?
Because they realized it was the dumbest thing they could have ever possibly done. Wow. And they lost so much money because these people went buck wild. So this one guy that bought a companion ticket, he got the main ticket and the companion ticket. He spent somewhere around $400,000. And then they said that over the next 25 years, he purchased 10,000 airline tickets.
Wow.
Which you think about it is, I think, more than one a day.
Yeah.
If the math works out.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that amount of money, you probably have the amount of time to travel.
Exactly.
So,
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because these days, I mean, the biggest commodity that somebody can have these days is not necessarily money, but it's time. Mm-hmm. So if you have that kind of money or that kind of cash flow, then you definitely have time.
Yeah.
Because you have the ability to decide where you're going to be and your schedule and everything. So, I mean, then it's not a big deal. You catch a fly from here to Paris and then, go from Paris to New York City and then just kind of, hippity hop here from there.
Do you have any idea how often I would just fly to New York just to get a slice of pizza and come back?
Just go get a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah, I'd fly to Philly and get a cheesesteak probably twice a week.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense, but I can see why they were bleeding money.
Yeah, I mean, they lost millions of dollars. It's insane.
But you said so they canceled the program, but these people had a lifetime. So did they? They
shut it down, but they had already sold 28 passes, and they had to honor those agreements.
So these people are still flying today?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if any of them are still living. I don't know if at some point American Airlines said, okay, you've reached the end. I don't think there's anybody today, as far as I know, that still has one of these active passes.
Wow.
But it went on for decades, and they lost so much money. Because, like you said, if you have 250 grand on you right now to buy, you're probably doing well enough in life where... maybe you're just living off the interest or maybe whatever. You're not necessarily going to work every day, so you probably have free time and you can just fly all over the place. And so these people were like, I'm jumping all over that. Yeah. They compared it to today's dollars, and I think it was like 500,000 or 600,000 in today's money. So still that would be a great deal.
Yeah.
Today, if somebody said for $1 million, you can fly as many times as you want for the rest of your life. There's so many people that would take that.
Yeah.
People that fly all the time or that would fly all the time if they didn't have to think about it. But the thing is also back then, flying was so much nicer. So it was so much more convenient than it is today because airport security was so much easier to get through and all that kind of stuff. So today it's not, it's kind of almost feels like a hassle sometimes to have to get on a plane or whatever. But back then it was much more enjoyable. They were always giving you food. They were giving you free stuff on the planes. It was a different experience.
Right.
I also don't know if these were first class tickets or regular economy tickets. I'm not sure. I don't remember what they said about that, but
yeah, that's interesting now.
So speaking of this, actually, with flights and planes and everything, so this global outage. So by the time this podcast comes out, it's going to be a few days after this thing, but this global outage that just happened because of...
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
This cybersecurity update that affected Microsoft and I have a bunch of other companies too. But all these airlines that went down, all of the global flights grounded for United and Delta. That's insane.
Yeah, it just shows you that we are so dependent on technology these days.
It's so fragile.
It's so I mean, I love technology, and technology's great. It's a great asset. It's great tools and everything. But at the end of the day, if it crashes or if it breaks, like you're kind of like a duck in the water. Like there's not a lot you can do. So
I mean, technology makes everything so convenient.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that somebody in those, in the tower and stuff still knows how to do analog or still knows how to keep track of flights and schedules and stuff like that, that they can still keep up the activities or track of somehow of flights, because not everything was, digital and automated back in the day. So it shows you that we still need to have some basic knowledge of certain things, that know how to do them without the technology, so that if technology breaks or decides to not work or something, you can still
we need that person in there who's like probably in their 70s that still knows how to use that little, like the credit card swiper, but the credit card machine that gets the imprint.
Yeah, I know how to use that, and I'm not 70 years old.
Yeah, you know how to use that?
Yeah. I used to play one of those.
Used to play. I think I actually had to do that one time at not the restaurant, at the supermarket that I worked at.
Yeah.
That was the craziest job. I was 17. I was a junior in high school, and I had a job like running the supermarket. Like I wasn't a manager, but I was basically
like a shift lead.
Yeah, I was a shift lead. And so I would oversee the cashiers.
Right.
And I would have to count all the money, like do all the audits of the registers.
Yeah.
And I'd have to oversee, like I'd have to send people out to get the carts, and I'd have to schedule people to go and do like the dairy section and to block the shelves and like a good portion of the store.
Yeah, it's like an assistant managing position.
Yeah, and it was like me and a couple of my friends from school that had these positions, and sometimes we'd be overlapping, we'd be working together. Yeah. And it was just, I mean, insane that like.
So was that the most fun job you've ever had?
It was fun. It was fun when I moved into that. I hated being a cashier. I started as a cashier and I absolutely hated it. And for like 6 months, I hated my job. I hated standing there. Like I just hated standing there all the time. And we would do, because you can't go anywhere, you're just stuck there. And I always hated that. And we would do these kind of competitions to see who could scan your groceries the fastest. And the store would keep track of it. And you were supposed to have, I think they called it IPMs, items per minute.
Oh, really?
And so, so we'd have these rankings, and they'd actually put the rankings up on the wall. So from like week to week, you'd see yourself either going up or down the list. You'd be like, oh. And so we would wait. Like I would literally wait until somebody emptied like their whole cart and got all the groceries up there. And then I'd just be like, boop, 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 and just like going as quick as I can. And so, I mean, we'd be like throwing people's groceries down the thing. And so a lot of times we had a bagger who would bag for us.
Yeah. Oh, back in the day when people would bag your groceries, because now they don't.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So that was fun. But then it was really fun when I moved into that like shift lead position. And then I would also do the customer service desk, which was cool. We'd have to send Western Unions and
you were
sell lottery tickets and stuff. Yeah. And I never knew what I was doing. I don't know. I would imagine half of those people never got their money because I didn't know what I was doing.
I hope they did.
I'm pretty sure, even though I didn't know what I was doing, I'm pretty sure I followed directions well enough to get it sent to the right place. But we would do announcements over the phone. So we'd pick up the phone and hit like the intercom button, and it'd be the announcement. So we'd announce the sales and stuff, right? So it'd be like like, attention shoppers, there's
yeah.
half price on Bounty paper towels. And we did this so we would just try to make them as silly and ridiculous as possible, just to be fun, because we were all kids, like like is inmates running the asylum kind of thing. So we would just make just stupid, silly announcements and mess with each other on the phones. And somebody would like one of us would make an announcement, and then another like we'd go back and forth, and I'd be like I'd be at customer service, and then my friend Tim, we'll just say, would be over at we'd call it at the podium, but it was like the area that kind of oversaw the cashiers. And so I'd be like, hey Tim, guess what? And then he would respond, and like we'd go back and forth. It was like the cheesiest stuff ever, but it was fun. That was a fun job. I actually really enjoyed it.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
I painted houses.
Yep.
Exterior houses in the summer, which was horrible.
I heard.
But but so on this outage that happened, and I think it's even the crazier thing is that so many people like lost emergency services. Like I'm pretty sure the whole state of Alaska lost 911 like they lost emergency services.
That's crazy.
Which is
That's dangerous.
It's so crazy.
That is dangerous for sure.
It's so crazy. And I think people in New Hampshire lost emergency services too. Like it's like a lot of stuff. But it just feels like there's just so much apocalyptic stuff happening right now, which is so crazy. So much just stuff. There's so much weather, and I mean, not even to mention the attempted assassination that just happened. There's just so much. I just feel like stuff that's happening right now. Not even just right now, but over the past, let's say, 18 months, there's just been so many things going on, from aliens to just all kinds of stuff. So it's crazy.
Yep. Just gotta keep Jesus close to your heart. Just
keep Jesus close to your heart.
Yep. There is a lot that can take place, and it's easy sometimes to kind of get lost in I don't know, like just feeling like that overwhelming sense of like what's happening, like nobody knows what's happening, and a sense of being alarmed and things like that. And I think there's a balance, and I think that as believers it's important that we keep that balance, that we're sensitive to hear the voice of God about what's happening for sure, and at the same time just kind of keep it light too. Not just not to develop a, I don't know, like a catastrophic mindset or perception of life, because if we do that, we can so easily lose sight of what God is doing right now, and even of like where our lives are meant to be taking us to. And we definitely don't need that. Chaos breeds more chaos.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Me personally, I try to make sure that I ground my heart to the reality that no matter what's happening around the world and no matter what's happening, God is still sitting on the throne. He's still Lord of everything. He knows. There's nothing that happens in our everyday life that God is not aware of, that he's that takes him by surprise, because he's infinite and he's not bound by time and space. He is constant. You kind of take on yourself the responsibility, if I could say that way, of making sure that those that you are seeing, or that in that moment where a crisis happens where you are, that you become that voice of hope, that you become that voice of peace in the midst of the situation. We've been told, scriptures tells us that there will be things that will take place, And some of these things might sound scary. Some of these things, we don't know everything to every detail, but we do have access to the one that knows it all. Mm-hmm. So because I have access to God who knows every season, who knows everything, I can have peace in the midst of chaos happening around me.
Yeah.
I can still have hope in the midst of the power going out. You know? Yeah. Or the credit card not working. Yeah. I can still have that sense of, you know what, God's got it. Mm-hmm. I might not have it at the moment, but he's got it. Mm-hmm. And he's got me, and we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. We can walk through this. Whatever it is, we can walk through this.
Yeah, the key is like don't lose who you are. You know, don't lose your identity, and don't lose sight of who God is in the midst of what you're going through. And I was thinking recently about one of the problems with being like ultra, like getting really deep into the conspiracy theory mindset and stuff like that. And I mean, granted, there's a lot of conspiracies, and a lot of it is probably very real. You know, there's probably a lot of stuff going on that we just don't know about. A lot of stuff that we're probably being intentionally deceived about, and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. There's some that I buy into, others that I don't. But the problem is when we go too far into it. Yeah. What happens with a lot of these conspiracy theories is that we inevitably begin to demonize the people that we assume are behind it. Yeah. And then it leads us into this place where we don't think of them as image bearers of God any longer. Yeah. We think of them as other. We think of them as something else. Mm-hmm. We think of them as an enemy. We think of them as somebody we have to fight against. And so what we don't do is we don't pray for them. Yeah. We don't desire what's best for them. We think of them as the enemy. And the Bible is very clear that our flesh is not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities and powers, the rulers in heavenly places. Mm-hmm. And so our fight is in the realm of the spirit. Mm-hmm. We're not fighting against a person. Right. Whether you're the most anti-Trump or anti-Biden or anti-whoever person, that person is ultimately, at least I don't think that person is your enemy. If you very much disagree with a politician's actions or a world leader's actions or whatever, and you know the way that they act or the way that they're enacting policies or whatever, if it's very anti your worldview, like there's a lot of stuff going on in our nation and around the world today that is very, very much anti-Christ in nature, very much anti-biblical worldview and whatever. And so what is my response to that? If I demonize that person because they're part of the establishment and it's this order of the whatever that's going to take over and they're trying to, you know, whatever. And yeah, a lot of it's probably real. But if I lump that person into a category to where I'm demonizing that person, I'm probably not going to be able to effectively pray for that person. Yeah. And something that we saw was, I mean, Daniel in scripture, he served under all these different kings. Yeah. And what we see from him is an absolute love and affection for this king that he'd be serving, who was somebody who was completely against his worldview. Yeah. But his goal was to serve that person well. To serve that person with excellence. And I think the fact that, you know, Paul tells us in Romans to honor and to be subject to our governing authorities. Meanwhile, at the time he wrote that, it's in Romans. Meanwhile, the time he wrote that, freaking Emperor Nero is governing the Roman Empire, who's burning Christians alive and just doing stuff that is just absolutely over the top. And he's saying, hey, like, honor your authorities. And it's just crazy to think about how, like, what that actually means.
All right, so let's wrap this one up. Thanks everybody again for for joining us today. Send us your questions or comments and everything. Bye-bye.